Hello, everybody, and welcome to Miss Valley Entertainment News. My name is Dred. Does it seem to you like there's an awful lot? If you're on my channel, you probably noticed an awful lot of videos on Starfield and Bethesda lately. And for a while, you're probably going to get more because, quite honestly, I am finding as the year has wound down, last half of the month of December of 2023 here, and now even moving into 2024, there are a lot of people wanting to chime in on what's going on with Starfield and Bethesda. It's become a fascinating subject that all kinds of people are jumping into and talking about. And I'm really enjoying the conversations right now. I think it's great that we're talking about these things, that we're recognizing where faults are, where problems are, where issues are, who's at fault and who's responsible to make the changes. It's great. I see a community standing up and saying, these are practices we don't like, and we recognize it's up to the gaming community to change, but us as consumers have to be the ones who drive the change with our wallets. That's where we vote when it comes to gaming stuff. So it's great, and I love hearing all these different voices, and that's what I'm trying to share with you right now. We're gonna look at another one. This is by Arky US, and if I click on Arky US here, I just took a quick look at their homepage here on YouTube, and it says I'm a rock metal music producer of 9 years and a variety streamer, and they do like this video they do Spider-Man 2 is doomed to lose game of the year, right? They don't really have a lot of gaming stuff. I imagine they do a lot of live stuff, live streams of games and stuff. But this is the person who I've only listened to like the first 30 seconds. Seems very, very well spoken, very well put together. And I'd like to see what their opinion on this whole thing is. So this is a video called Starfield Could Ruin Bethesda, by Arky US. And please, there is a link down below to this original video. If you enjoy what I'm putting out here and you enjoy what this person has to say, go to the original video, leave a like, comment, subscribe, ring the bell, do all those nice things for their channel as well, and tell them that Dread from Miss Valley Entertainment News sent you on by. All right, let's get into this.
Hey, stop me if you've heard this one before. Everybody's mad at Bethesda right now. 2023 has served to be one of the absolute best years we've had in gaming since God knows when.
And that's a good point. That is actually a really good point. It's a great spot to stop right there. No question, 2023 has been a great year for gaming. Um, some of that was, maybe the end part of 2022 leaking in as well into this year. But it really, when you start comparing it to the last 2 or 3 years, you could go all the way, you need to go all the way back to pre-COVID years to actually find a year that's as good as this last one for gaming. We've really had some great games, some great studios, some great releases, some great smaller companies come out. There's been some amazing things happening. That's the kind of stuff you feel free to jump down below into the comments of the video and tell me, what is your favorite like independent game? What is your favorite smaller studio game? What is a game that over this last year or so really surprised you with how good it was? Because we don't always have to just rag on Bethesda. We we're as a community here, the people that comment on my videos generally know what's going on with Bethesda right now. It's not you people I'm trying to reach. It's the newer people, the people who are just discovering my channel, the people who maybe haven't heard a lot about this, that I'm trying to reach with these videos and all these different viewpoints on what's going on with Bethesda, because through Starfield and through many other of their launches of games as well, that's kind of taken them down this precipice to the drop off point at this point. I mean, like I say, it's dead Bethesda. But for you and the community we've got going here for Miss Valley Entertainment News, if you don't want to comment on what's going on anymore with Bethesda, then feel free to drop in and talk about the great year in gaming we had. I look forward to your comments.
Whether you're a fan of JRPGs, FPS games, story-based games, Souls-like games, there was probably something for you. That's just the kind of year that 2023 was.
I agree.
Let's say you're a fan of FPS RPG hybrids, right? Maybe from heavily storied and famous game developers who have spent hundreds of thousands of hours in their crafts and have rose to acclaim to be one of the absolute titans of the industry. Yeah? Is a name coming to mind? That's right. CD Projekt Red with Cyberpunk 2077,
Nice.
The Phantom Liberty. Now, a lot of people are going
Good
after
point.
Bethesda right now. And honestly, for a time being, I sort of empathized with them that maybe some of the attacks were a little bit too bad faith. Mind you, some of the perspectives we were seeing came off a little bit more like fanboy rage than actual genuine criticism of a game that maybe could have used a little bit more time in the oven, a little bit more feedback that was constructive rather than deconstructive. Starfield has been just an absolutely insane experience for Bethesda, and there have been many plot points within the history of this game being released that's sort of a tribute to the negative sentiment that we're seeing towards it now.
Okay.
Granted,
Like
it
what?
wasn't a game that had a whole lot of love on release, don't get me wrong, but it definitely has seemed to hit a headway with some recent comments that Bethesda customer support has made directed towards the community itself. Now, I'm sure you guys have seen this, but I just, for the giggles of it, I definitely want to go through this one more time. This is a Steam review that has 56 hours on it. Boring and overrated. There's a wide universe to explore filled mostly with empty planets. I understand they have to do that to sell you on the idea that this is a whole universe. That doesn't make the game more fun. You can land on any planet and explore the copy-pasted locations. You'll see the exact same locations from one end of the universe to the other and everywhere in between. A hodgepodge of messy, slapped-together mechanics, bloated skill trees, exploring, crafting, base building, an RPG, an FPS, a space opera. Starfield doesn't know what it wants to be. As wide as an ocean and as deep as a puddle, you can explore everywhere.
Wow.
But why would you
Wow.
want to? And ever so gracefully, Bethesda responds, greetings. Thank you for taking the time to leave a review for Starfield. We are sorry that you did not like landing on different planets and are finding many of them empty. Bethesda, there was a couple other words that they mentioned involving skill trees and crafting systems, but sure, let's focus on that one point. Some of Starfield's planets are meant to be empty by design, but that's not boring. When the astronauts went to the moon, there was nothing there. They certainly weren't bored. Okay, now we've all had fun with that, right? We've all definitely made our our memes,
Asinine
and
comment.
we've
Asinine.
poked fun at Bethesda for this sort of ridiculous sentiment. It doesn't just stop there. This is one of the most upvoted posts from Deleted on the Starfield subreddit. Before I say anything, I actually really enjoy the game. I hate that we have to sort of preamble these things when we're actually speaking about stuff that we have criticism with.
Yeah.
I think it's important because of rampant fanboyism to sort of delineate the fact that we enjoy the things we enjoy before we criticize them. The thread states, people should stop saying mods will fix it. I wish they spent another year or two refining this game. And the first sentence that I feel really does a positive sentiment towards how people are interacting with Starfield and the sort of criticisms being levied at it is, if you like the game as it is right now, that is absolutely okay and honestly understandable.
And absolutely, I've said this many times along with my criticisms of Starfield and Bethesda. If you like Starfield, if that's your kind of game and you're happy with it the way it is and you enjoy playing it, that's valid. But it's valid for you. It's not valid for anyone who is not you. They all have their own opinions, and their opinions are also valid. However, when you start to understand by reading through the reviews for people that, they got a lot of better reviews at the beginning, and now they're getting a lot of terrible reviews. There's, the people that hung in there are eventually leaving the game and leaving it a bad review. I mean, 8,000 players right now, 8,000 people playing Starfield. It's not even in the top 100 on Steam. It's far below that. I think it's not even in the top 150, I heard. It's a dead game, and good luck trying to breathe any life into it there at Bethesda and get any more money out of it. Good luck. But anyways, I do think there is nothing wrong with liking the game. what I have an issue with is people who like the game coming in and saying it doesn't have bugs, it doesn't have problems. Nobody knows what they're talking about. It's just the Sony ponies who are downvoting it because they hate Xbox and blah 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 blah, and making nothing but stupid excuses that aren't true and spouting numbers like millions of people are playing it that are absolute bullshit. Um, so you have to you're allowed to like it, but just because you like a game doesn't mean you have to go against the facts and try to convince everybody their facts are wrong. Like just enjoy it and just go off by yourself and enjoy it. It's fine.
I put in maybe about 90 hours into Starfield, and I had a great time. I really, really enjoy Starfield. I think it has some fun story quirks. I enjoyed some of the beats. I enjoy an awful lot of Starfield in totality. I love the gunplay. I love the loot mechanics. I love leveling up gun crafting so I can get better and cooler weapons. I had a good time with it. Now, because I had a good time with it doesn't mean that it's immune to criticism. Anything that's even perfect could have some room for criticism. And unfortunately for Starfield, I would say it is definitely leaning closer in the not perfect. The post continues. That being said, however, it's very clear that Bethesda recognizes the modders in this community, and it's clear that they're relying on their free labor to add in a lot of needed features. Bethesda's always been famous for
So Bethesda doesn't want to do the work. And I think if you look at Starfield and look at the things they removed from past games to make Starfield, you start to look at the procedural generation and a lot of the other issues. I do believe that this is a company who says this is the way we want to make games from now on. It'll eventually allow us to make games quicker. There'll be a simple pattern to it, and people then can add in whatever they want to the games because that's what our fans want to do. Like Bethesda still knows what their fans want. I honestly believe that this is a lazy cash grab. Not just Starfield, but I believe Starfield is the start of what Bethesda wants to be, a lazy cash grab for all their future games. I believe that this is the way they want to go. They want to get, AI to write their programs. They want to get, the computer to flesh things out for them. They don't want to have to write all the different, quests you go on. Why can't we get a computer system that does that? Why can't we get this and this, outsource this and this and this here, so that we can just simply say, I want a game like this, and basically have the computer build it for us in record time, get the game out, and hey, then our fans who love modding can then go add whatever they want to the game to make it whatever they want to, because they will do that anyways. And although some of these things I think can be used within games, I think taking it out of the designer's hands, and taking it out of the artist's hands is a bad choice. Because Starfield is your first warning shot of what happens when that happens. Okay. But yeah, I think it's a lazy approach to making a game is what it is. And I think the reason Starfield took so long to come out is because they're learning how to make a game the lazy way, and they want to be able to reproduce this down the road.
Supporting the modding community, allowing people to customize their game experience from A to Z in any way that they saw fit, whether it be nude billboards all the way to brand new character models, anything in between. That's all people are making. It's just nude models everywhere. The post continues. I understand Bethesda has been doing this for a while, but it's just a shame that they're doing this again. They've always relied on modders to be able to come in and fix these games to a state that feels a little bit more modern or a little bit more enjoyable for the average layman player to actually engage with. Yeah. Unfortunately, I feel like this time they've hit a snag. I feel like modders overall have a growing sentiment that they just don't enjoy Starfield enough to actually want to fix this game.
This is true.
For free. The creators of Skyrim Together, a popular mod for Skyrim, Imagine, posted a statement on their official Discord stating, let's talk about Starfield. When the game released, I was hyped, like a lot of people, but probably for different reasons. I spent launch day and a few days after reverse engineering the game and porting over gameplay hooks from Skyrim Together to a potential Starfield Together mod. I ported about 70% of Skyrim Together reversed code to Starfield Together.
And here is the one line, the sentence that sums this up for modders, for quote unquote professional modders, those who actually do this.
There's just one problem. This game is fucking trash. I didn't realize this until after I actually started playing the damn
so
game
beautiful.
a week after launch. The game is boring, bland, and the main draw of Bethesda games, exploration in a lively and handcrafted world, was completely gone. Anyways, everyone already knows this. Most people agree. There's no need for further repeat the point. Just read any of the dozens of reviews online. That said, I won't be continuing development on Starfield together. I'm not going to put my heart and soul into a mod for a game as mediocre as this. Now, a lot of this stuff is old sentiment. This is old stuff that's been said in the last couple of weeks, the past month, past 2 months. Why are we bringing this up now? Seemingly as a show of protest, Bethesda fans have unified on these Steam reviews and have dropped the recent reviews, which, mind you, I'm not going to lie to you, recent reviews are reviews of the past 30 days, which is still relevant. 30 days is a pretty big window when your game's only been out for like 3 months, which is definitely something that's probably got to have Bethesda a little bit nervous. As of this recording, Starfield sits at 29% positive reviews in the past 30 days, with its overall review being 64% over 88,000 reviews since its game's launch. Now, I have some interest in actually deep diving the sort of Bethesda effect, we'll call it, that has transpired since the game company itself was founded. Bethesda didn't just release Fallout 76, have a lot of people pissed off about that, and then release Starfield, and this is what we get. I feel as though Bethesda's overall negative impression goes quite a ways back, and is actually a pretty interesting and storied tale. If you like,
for some people, the negative impression goes to Skyrim because they were fans of, like, Morrowind and Oblivion, and have seen things, according to them anyways, and I won't disagree, but according to them, degrade with each game. And that may be true or it may not. I can't speak to Oblivion and Morrowind because I've literally played less than an hour of each. So, and I did not play them when they came out at all. So I can't speak to those games. But obviously a lot of you will, and a lot of you love those games and say that they're better than Skyrim. Sure. That's obviously your opinion. I'm not going to put it down in any way. I'm not going to say it's wrong in any way. I'm saying I don't have an opinion on that. I can't. But yeah, he's right. This goes back a long ways. People's decline in thinking about Bethesda as a company. I would say for sure when Fallout 76 came, that was a big step back. But people also talk about Fallout 4 being a big step back from Fallout 3. So, and of course, then Fallout New Vegas being better than both, maybe even put together. So, there's been a long time of pushback against Bethesda, and it's really ramped up right now. People are really hot on this topic, and people have realized that it's not improving. It's Bethesda. The company is not improving, the product is not improving, and it's been a long, steep decline. And the longer and steeper the decline, the harder it is to pull out of that for a company. At some point, I honestly don't know if they can, and I don't even know if they really understand it or even really want to. I mean, they want to sell more, that's for sure, but yeah.
Like to see me talk about why Bethesda is hated in totality, going back to the very beginning inception of them as a company, leave a comment below. Let me know. Coming back to the point, Starfield was a game that needed to be a juggernaut. It couldn't have just been good. It couldn't have just been fine. It needed to be a return to form for Bethesda in order for fans of them as a company to come back to the fray and be willing to engage on them in good faith. I think deep down, everybody wanted Starfield to be a good game. Prior to its release, I was really excited to get back into a major full-scale Bethesda game, with my last game being Fallout 4. Now, say what you will about Fallout 4, I had a lot of fun with it. I still felt as though there was a lot of concessions that were being made with the Fallout formula that were ultimately fleshed out in Fallout 76 to lead me to believe maybe I don't actually like it when Bethesda's in control of this franchise. Yeah. In skipping Fallout 76 and being so excited for Starfield, it really does bum me out that ultimately I agree with the mob mentality. This is a game that needs help. This is a game that needs patches. Bethesda has gone out of their way and released DLSS patches, simple bug fixes, but we have...
When you say the game needs help, then you go into immediately the game needs patches. I think I think more than that, in all honesty, this game needed passion. I don't think there was any passion about this. I mean, we hear about Todd Howard's passion for more worlds. We need more worlds. He wanted to have a game with the most worlds in it, is basically what he wanted. He wanted that to be the draw. We've got more planets to explore. But he didn't allow the developers, designers, the quest designers, the artists to put that passion into those worlds. Instead, you get procedurally generated small plot of land where you land, loading screen, get out of your ship, loading screen, and wander around basically amongst rocks and dirts to find your two or three things or whatever that are there in for you to interact with. There's no passion in the game. You could be passionate about the game. You could fall in love with this game and love this game and be passionate about it. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying as a player. I'm saying I don't think there was the passion from the company put into this game to give it the care and attention. And we want this to be a loving ode to our fans, giving them what they want. There didn't seem to be any of that. So patches, sure, it needs patches, but it needed passion. And I think Bethesda is severely lacking in that passion as a company.
I've seen no meaningful enhancement, no meaningful changes to the base game in of itself, which leads me to believe that what we're pending right now is the release of a paid DLC that deluxe users have already paid for, and potentially a bug fix patch here and there. I'm trying my best to imagine a world where Bethesda could understand that them needing to release content patches, release new features, release new mechanics, these patches are so necessary before the release of something that they're going to charge people to get their hands on, especially if this DLC serves to be a feature-enhancing content drop, which would leave general users who purchase the base game completely out of luck.
So it seems like Bethesda's passion is making more money, which makes sense because paid mods, they're wanting to make more money. DLC, they're wanting to make more money. That's where their passion is. Their passion is making more money. But it seems like they do it just in any way they can, not by doing what the fans want. Lack of passion for the art is what we've got with Bethesda. Lack of passion for the art.
What Bethesda needs to do is release steady content and feature-rich patches. Bethesda resorting to making more money off of the fact that they have released a game that is fundamentally unready to be released is just insulting to the fact that anyone actually paid money for this game. I paid money for this game. And as far as I'm concerned, there are just some fundamental features, some fundamental design choices that I just can't help but wondering, why is this here? Mark my words, this is not the last that we're going to see of this controversy revolving around Starfield. Nope. I genuinely do believe we're going to be seeing that DLC first before we see any meaningful additions made to the gameplay loop. A lot of Starfield defenders would already tell you that the game already is feature-rich. It's just that there's some gameplay mechanics that maybe you don't gel with. I disagree. The fact that you can land on any given one of these thousands of planets and they actually have zero content on them, especially ways to meaningfully get from A to B on said repeated content, is just absurd. Granted, this isn't a review. I'm not going to sit here and review Starfield for you, but it's an unbelievably frustrating situation. I suppose coming from somebody who actually enjoyed the game and wanted it to be even better than it ultimately was, this was a game I could see myself treating the way that everybody else treated Skyrim.
So that means a lot when he says that about how much he's played the game, how he did enjoy playing the game, and how much he wanted this game to be so much better, realizing as he's playing it, you're going to these boring, lifeless planets that you really don't care about and really aren't that important to anything. So the thing that Todd pushed the most, having more planets, ended up being, why do we want to go there? Who cares? Pretty sad. Pretty sad. And again, this is someone who likes Starfield and has played Starfield quite a bit, giving the review. They're not trashing it as in like I saying I hated it. They're saying I liked playing this game, but it's got some fundamental core issues, and I can't deny it.
I didn't like Skyrim. Yeah, I know. Burn me at the it doesn't. I didn't like Skyrim. I was
You're totally allowed to not like Skyrim. If you're not into that kind of game, you're not gonna like it. Plain and simple. Same with like people not liking Baldur's Gate 3. You don't have to like Baldur's Gate 3. Um, you should have enough awareness, I think, as a gamer to realize what the draw of the game is, both the way the studio treated their fans and kept them up to date on things and in the loop on things, and even took their suggestions to heart, those kind of things. And also even in the way they did their early access, and they didn't release the whole game, they released the first act in early access and then use that to get feedback, so that no one had seen the entire game till it came out. And just the way the game has so much choice, like never seen before, amount of choices you can make. If you understand that and appreciate that and say that's why it got Game of the Year, then you don't have to like the game. As long as you understand what it has done for the gaming community, cool. You don't have to like it. It's going to be totally like subjective as far as who likes it. Same with Skyrim. I happen to love Skyrim, but let's be honest. If I had to play vanilla Skyrim, unmodded Skyrim, I would not play it very much. Buggy, dull, kind of messy pile of mess. I don't know, man. It's just, without the mods, there's not a lot that draws me to it. There's some, but not a lot.
was hoping to treat Starfield the way that everybody got to treat Skyrim, but ultimately it's just not even a similar caliber of game. The game is stretched so incredibly flat that it just surprises me absolutely none that people aren't happy, especially when they're coming in and seeing that the game is at a discounted price. You're having new people come in and realize that this game is just not something worth spending any more time than they're already
Starfield's on discount already? I've never even looked at it on Steam. I don't know. I haven't paid attention to what it's selling for. Wow.
Spending, putting the $50 into. At the end of the day, I understand where the mob mentality comes from. I think it's an interesting psychological thing where people get more angry based on the fact that the peers around them are angry as well. Ultimately, I understand where the rage comes from. And I just hope that Bethesda is able to pick up the pieces somehow, because as it stands right now, I don't actually know what Bethesda is going to be able to do. A lot of people are...
I give them less than 5% chance of being able to change as a studio and come back from this, honestly. I just, again, it's not just this game. It's been years and years and years of steady decline. I don't see them turning this around. I don't see it.
Are already pointing to the Elder Scrolls 6 saying, if they mess this up, I don't know what they're going to be able to do. And I think they get that now. I think they actually understand that their last attempt to make a good impression on the overall gaming community is the Elder Scrolls 6.
Okay, I'm curious, Archie US, what makes you think they get that? What have you seen from Bethesda that's told you they understand this? If you're just looking at, the bad reviews, well, they responded to those reviews by telling people they were wrong. So I don't see anything there that says they think they're wrong. They think the fans are wrong. They think the fans just don't understand their game or don't understand them, because they kind of have an elitist viewpoint. They think they're above people. They think they're leading the way and people just don't get it. I don't see anything that makes me think they understand anything that's going on right now. Honestly, nothing.
I genuinely believe the release of Fallout 76 provided enough plausible deniability that was just a B game. It was a game made by a different studio. That wasn't Bethesda in Washington. That was Bethesda in Texas. It's a different company. Absolutely, this next game, Starfield, is going to be the next Bethesda game. So for it to flop the way that it has, you have to think they know this is their last chance. It's this or nothing. And what remains to be seen is what's going to happen to Bethesda if this game flops the way that I worry it could potentially. I don't know if they have the right design pipeline. I don't know if they have the right managerial leadership. I don't know if the pieces are in place
They don't have the
for
right
them
anything,
to successfully
honestly.
make a follow-up to a game that is effectively the de facto video game to most people that are not involved in the games industry. If you don't know video games, you probably know Skyrim. Anyway, that's all I got to say about that. If you enjoyed the video, please consider subscribing.
Yeah, and again, check out the original video by Arky US. He was very well spoken. I agree with pretty much everything he had to say, except for this end piece. I'm really enjoying, like I say, the different people coming forward and giving their views on this. I think it's kind of cathartic. It's almost like a healing process right now. Although I do get fired up at times and passionate about some of the things I hear and some of the things I say, I really feel like this is a healing process, because now things are kind of scabbed over, and now we're just getting the cooling balm of everyone's words and everyone kind of agreeing and saying, yes, you weren't wrong. No, we're all seeing this. We're all fearing the same thing. Yeah. And it's not that I need a pat on the back or anything, or to be told I'm right, but as humans, we all like that. Which is why the Starfield fanboys are freaking out, because they only have so many hands. They only have 8,000 hands to go around and pat each other in the back with, and that's it. But anyways, yeah. So let me know what you think about can Bethesda actually recover from this, and do you think they will recover from this? And what do you think the backlash is going to be when they put out the DLC, without really having changed anything about the game that people don't like? So, yeah, drop down in the comments and let me know, people. So from Miss Valley Entertainment News, my name is Dread. Hope you're enjoying this, and we'll see you all later. Ta-ta.